Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are at the EVA podcast and we've got a fantastic series prepared for you. The series I'm talking about involves two gentlemen and I'll bring them in very, very shortly, but we're doing a series on Wholesale by Vels and it's a launch of one of their new innovative products. Now the two gentlemen I'm talking about is Rinaldo Vels, who's the MD and founder of Wholesale by Vels, and also Mike Kroonenburg, who's a cargo hero with Wholesale by Vels. So just before I get an introduction, lads, you're almost Ronaldo and you're almost Kroonenburg.
Yeah.
So you're almost.
Almost.
Right? Now, for ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, those that are listening, there is a certain resemblance, but I have to point out at this moment in time, they are not father and son.
No.
But they've got a very close relationship. Now, gentlemen, welcome. It's an absolute pleasure.
Thank you.
So we're going to have a little four series within this podcast. The first one I'm going to do is the double act, which is obviously the pair of you. We've already identified that you're not father and son, although there's a huge resemblance.
No.
Now, what I'd like you to just give me a little bit of background information on is CargoPilot. Okay, so from nothing to now, I know it was humble beginnings. So can you please just give me in your own words how it all began and why?
Yeah, so the whole idea started actually in June 2021 when Mike just joined my team, and yeah, we were having fun with the Wholesale by Vels business, and we got a lot of requests from customers, obviously a quote request, and Mike said, "Why are we doing everything by email?"
Yep.
And he's tech savvy, and I'm not that tech savvy, and he said, "Yeah, but we can build an app."
Yep.
And yeah, that's actually how it started. It was at that time in the shed. It was still small, and we were standing in the back of the garden. And yeah, what is the app? What can it do? What does it have to do? And so we started to continue to brainstorm about ideas. And at a certain moment, we said, "No, maybe an app is not that smart. Maybe we need to create our own platform." And that's how it actually started, about the development and the thoughts about it and what is possible, and especially within this airline business, we start to learn a lot about what is an API. So that's how it all started, and we did a lot of research. Especially Mike did a lot of research on the APIs. He was even considering to follow additional trainings on the whole stuff. But at a certain moment we thought, is it smart to step in by ourselves? And that's actually where it changed. You started to learn more, and yeah.
So Wholesale by Vels, you've had a few years, and then you're sitting down, you're having a chat, you need to upgrade, update, etc. So Mike, obviously with your technical background and interest, why and what actually is CargoPilot?
CargoPilot is a quote and book platform.
Yep.
In which our clients, so the forwarders, have the ability to look into real dynamic live pricing at the airlines.
Yep.
Including first mile and last mile solutions, and quote and book it directly on their own. So
okay, and there's lots of tech programs out there and platforms. How's this different, and why did you feel that you had to create your own?
We are different because we think we provide the whole package, the door-to-door solution, including first mile and last mile, also based on API connections with agents over the world and trucking companies.
Yep.
And where the competition is, in our eyes, only offering the port-to-port solution.
Okay, all right, makes sense. So then you must have done a little bit of research, customer need, etc.
Yeah.
What type of responses did you get from what you thought was the first prototype?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. The thing is that coming from the wholesale business, the freight forwarders are our customer, and in our opinion, we have two sorts of freight forwarding companies. You have the freight forwarding company in air freight who has their own IATA license, which is common known in the market. But having said that, more than 80% of our customers are freight forwarders without their own IATA license, and that's a huge difference. And for me, one of the things and the biggest frustrations has always been, why is air freight so difficult to access in the market? And that's also the belief behind it, that based on the values we have at Wholesale by Vels and going digital, we're going to help the non-IATA freight forwarding customers, the freight forwarders, to access directly to the airlines.
Yep.
Well, we still back them up because we, as Wholesale by Vels, have the operating IATA license. So that's also convenient for the airlines in the background, obviously, because we will always check if we can fly it according to the rules and regulations.
Yeah.
But having said that, going back to the original question about, okay, where did we start with the app? It was all about that we were providing quotes to our customers, for example, within 30 to 60 minutes, and there were still customers saying you're too slow.
Yeah, exactly.
And now with CargoPilot, it's great because actually they can log in and see 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They can see all the options which are available from Amsterdam Airport at the moment. Booking over more than 20 airlines on direct capacity with live rates. And that is going to give a huge advantage to the freight forwarders without the IATA, and they're actually getting into a new era.
And with that speed now, okay, and with the options, and obviously what you're referring to as having your own sort of self sort of filter or safety net for the non-IATA agents, I mean that's really opened a lot of opportunities for you, hasn't it?
Yeah, there's so many opportunities because. First of all, the freight forwarders who are normally not doing direct bookings with the airlines, they get now the access. Besides that, there's also a new group coming on because we know that there's a group of freight forwarding companies who are currently not offering air freight.
Yes.
And they will now have the option, and there are so many, we call it hurdles. It's the famous word. We think by providing the solution through CargoPilot that we've taken away a lot of hurdles for people to step into the air cargo market.
Okay, good. And Mike, from the hurdle perspective, and obviously from a technical challenge, what were some of those hurdles, and how did you get around them?
The hurdles were quite big, especially in the beginning. Getting all the connections from the airlines, getting everybody on the same page.
Yep.
But at this stage, I think we've come quite far at where we are right now, and we can provide real great solutions, especially for our overseas agents, which can quote and book outside our office hours. Yeah.
Okay. And from the carrier perspective, because obviously it's important that you develop a really close relationship with them, how have they received the CargoPilot program?
They did great. Some of them were a bit
reluctant.
Another platform. Yeah. You want to build again another platform. We've had several requests, but once we told them our vision, not just for all the IATA port-to-port, but for our non-IATA clients providing a door-to-door solution, it opened the conversation.
Okay, good. And everybody's coming to terms now with this new term API. it was nobody spoke about it, until fairly recently. But having open API framework, that is what's made the this proposition a game changer.
All the APIs just combined. Without APIs, it would be possible.
Exactly. Too complex. Now, where do you see the next challenges coming from once it really rolls out in the first and second phase?
Once it rolls out, it will hopefully gain some momentum, which we need to scale up. We are a new platform. So there will be a lot of small problems enlightened. We need to resolve them. But for future, once APIs get better, and we need to adapt and get it all together.
Yep, good. Now the reason for today's event, obviously, is to launch the brand, be proud of the brand, happy with what you've done, and coming back to from nowhere to now. I mean, it's an exciting day for you both, huh?
It's bloody exciting.
And you've got, I don't know, you're probably in the region of 100 to 120 customers and guests that are coming here for a viewing this afternoon. So
they're going to get a little bit of a look and feel into the kitchen. And happy to have you there as well, obviously. It's exciting. And again, we've been working now on this for 2.5 years, and it all started like, okay, we do an app, and then we do a platform, and then we do this, and we want to have a V1, version 1. Where do we draw the line? Because our levels are pretty high, and when we showed it also to people around, so I showed it last year, for example, in Bangkok for the first time, and Mike has been to Santiago de Chile and Lima, Peru, and the feedback we got from the people was really like, wow, this is amazing, and it's something new. And it's really good and great to hear from other people that we are working on something great, but still there's a lot of excitement. And it's what's going to happen from tomorrow?
And nerves, but I mean it's good. It's like anybody going on stage or performing at a high level, you want to know that you've prepared yourself well. Now, obviously, it's not just about the two of you. You've got a good team behind you. How have you taken them from the Wholesale by Vels journey and then bridging it across now to what's going to happen?
Yeah. Good question. We actually started to introduce the team in December 2022. It was the first time where we did a group presentation together actually with a friend of mine who's a consultant, and he helped us out to build the bridge, more or less. To give them the introduction, because you can also imagine that, okay, is the platform going to take over our work?
Exactly.
Very, very famous question, which is definitely not the case. It will definitely help, hopefully, at the end, but it will not take over work. But that's where we actually got the team to onboard, to get a little bit of a feel about what it was going to be at that time. And interesting, they also had questions back.
Yeah.
And these questions, for example, okay, is it going to take my work away, or what is it going to do here? And so that means that when we wake up, for example, in the morning, we might see already whatever 25, 100 or more bookings. That are the positive challenges probably which we are going to face. And I can understand the concerns of the team at that time, but nowadays especially they're so incredibly enthusiastic and excited about it as well. Actually the team is joining this afternoon, and they are really on board. They are really on board, and they see the advantages for also our customers, also in the future from a communication perspective. And then I'm confident that it's going to make a difference.
No, and we all hope you do. But it's amazing, the way people are. And it doesn't matter what generation. Somebody talks about something being digital or AI being involved, and the first thing they think is, am I still going to have my job? Instead of thinking, I can then do things differently and better because you've got more agility because of the data and the speed, and looking forward to learning more things. And it's this mind like block or this step that it happens with every organisation who does such a change. Now, when you started and they started to become more positive about it, how did you then engage them and make them feel that this is the way of the future and how it's going to change? And as a result of that, did you get any positive input from them that maybe tweaked or changed what you'd already thought of?
Yeah, I think that the story about actually an interesting conversation I had with you, the thing with regards to the safety and the discussion we had with Julian, I think that's a really good example.
Mike?
Based on the safety, because if everybody can do their own quotes and books, who's going to take care of the shipment? But it's not that our platform is doing all the work.
Exactly.
It's doing spot quotes, sending some trucks, but once the shipment arrives in the warehouse and we receive all the paperwork, then we will still check the shipment, do the weight and dimension check, and see if the cargo is what the client has booked. So you're still going through the industry best practice, cursory standards, and in a second or third episode we'll be coming to your new terms and business rules. So I know we'll be talking about that.
And also the point which we are making later on is about what is the change for the team, for example, the change in their changing position it's changing tasks. And they need to adapt to certain things, and digital onboarding is it's one of the things which is also new for us. But we're looking forward to it.
And it's also about reassessing the minimum expectations and the critical activities, whereas people are always used to doing all the things that I did, and now it's priorities and making things work faster and more agile.
Definitely.
Now, the positives, all right, so we've spoken about a few challenges and hurdles. What are the positives that you're expecting?
one of the positives is for sure that we will give more people or freight forwarders access to the air cargo industry.
Yeah.
On top of that, also the development with regards to track and trace, first mile track and trace, last mile track and trace, and the connectivity there is going to give more insight. And we've seen it very often that people are eager to get information, but where do I get the information? And now it's becoming centralized, which is convenient for people. So hopefully we get more peace for our customers, and especially their customers, who is the retail, that they can provide these kind of information. So that's a positive. There are also some things which I still feel challenging, and it's definitely also on the radar. Is I love CargoPilot. It's in part of it, but I'm also slightly concerned about a few things. Is, for example, the digitalization, the new Gen Z.
Yeah.
They rely only on the screens, and that's one of the things I see as a positive, that we are going to provide our customers who are using Cargo Platform in the future, that they will also get awareness training about dangerous goods, safety, security,
Exactly.
and that's giving me a far better feeling. So it's actually out of the concern, it gives me a positive feeling for the future that we can make more people aware.
And I like the fact that one of your business rules is to do with practical performance.
Yeah.
Competencies, because you've got to marry that digital and practical outcomes together. Otherwise, there's a big
Huge difference.
Grey area.
Yeah.
Now, can I ask you something now? Obviously, everybody's also talking about AI, and so are you gonna use some of the data, and you're going to be able to have predictive, forecasting for capacity and timings, and also more adaptive organisation, automated?
We're definitely thinking about integrating some AI. Like the airlines are already based on the API, the space on the aircraft.
Yeah.
But we are thinking about, once shipment gets booked, we request like commercial invoice packing list from our customers.
Yeah.
Once they upload it, let's check with AI the content of those letter.
Yeah.
And if it's sees liquid or lithium or iron, something like that, then we some magnetized things. Then we can eliminate or try to eliminate the hidden dangerous goods in the shipments, which is quite common nowadays.
It's a big worry, big risk, and the playing fields have to be equalised. They've got to be levelled out, because it's not right what happens with general cargo, and then e-commerce has a not totally, but almost different playing field. With regard to that forecasting and data access that you'll get, will you also be looking to advise customers of the levels of non-compliance and what they should be aware of, so you're actually providing added awareness services to your customer base?
We will definitely add some, we'll see what they've booked and what was compliant to what they've booked.
Yeah.
And if we, for instance, see that they're the same customers booking general cargo but contains batteries or fluids or whatever, they will definitely make them aware and try to learn them how to adapt, and in future cases book it the correct way.
Yeah. Okay, so the main thing is that you're also going to now start supporting the customers, and especially if it's the non-IATA ones, and they're not as familiar with some of the practices that are necessary.
And that's one of the most valuable points for us. It's great to have an online platform. We expect and anticipate that probably around 70 to 80% of the bookings can be made online, but 20% is not.
Yeah.
And that's where still human manpower is involved, and that's where we call backed by Wholesale by Vels, by my team, highly experienced, our team. We can still, so there's still a human interface behind it, and it's really important, especially for those customers who want that.
Yeah.
So it's not that they are forced to go digital. They can use digital, but if they need a helping hand by a person, they will get a helping hand by a person. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so important. So, gents, the launch begins. Today's the day.
Yeah.
From nowhere to now. So, happy so far? Looking forward to this afternoon?
Definitely.
100%.
Yeah?
We're going to make fun out of it.
Ready for, and that's what you've got to do.
We're going to
enjoy the journey, have some fun doing it, and care about the people that you take with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, gents, thank you. That's the first session. Really appreciate it. Good luck from everybody, and we hope it's a huge success, because there's nothing better than new things happening in this business.
Absolutely.
And if they're successful, then what more can you ask for? So thanks very much for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.